And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. Today we're going out in the glorious 737-800 and we're going to have a bit of a fly in the, well, the non-keyboard mode at least. Anyway, we're going to do this in our with the mouse and the keyboard, and we're going to see how we go. Looks like an F-14 waiting for us there in the glorious Qantas livery. Looking forward to maybe getting a bit of Qantas flying done. And we're here in Sydney at Sydney International. Relatively quiet these days with that thing that shall not be mentioned, and an F-14 waiting very patiently for us. So let's get inside and see how we go. Now I want to set up views very quickly with you. If you haven't done views and you're new to X-Plane 11, you can use your mouse. Use the right button, hold it down, and you can move it around to where you would like it. Now if you'd like to save that view, hit Control, and I use number 8 because that's top middle, that's front and middle. You can use the Q and E keys to rotate left and right. So I'm just going to rotate left about a quarter. I like a quarter view, and I'll go Control and 7, so that's quarter left. And while we're here, I'll go all the way around to a 90-degree view. I like to use Control and 4 for that one. I'm going to use E to rotate all the way back around again and give myself a 45-degree view across the cockpit. So I'm going to go Control number 9 on the 9 pad, number pad, and go further right using the E again to rotate that. Going to hold down Control and 6, so now I can go front, right, left 90 degrees, round there, over to 90 degrees. So I've got that done, so happy with that so far. And I've got a nice wide view. Now I'm using 105 degrees on the viewer, so let me just show you that first. And the way you can adjust it, if you go to graphics, and you can also see what graphics I'm running at the moment as well. And down here is the one that I'm using down here. So I've got 106.41. I often use 90. That's a good one when using for flying 2D, but in VR it does its own thing, so it doesn't really matter what you set up. You go from 2D to VR, and might just put the frame output for you on there too, so you can see where we're up to today. So you can click on that one, show in cockpit, and you'll see the display up the top here on the left hand side. So there we go, it's up there for the moment. So we're looking at 27, 28 FPS. Now basic controls. Now if you want to fly, you can see how that changes into an arrow. So with your mouse, if you push forward and back, that's what the yoke does. If you go left and right, that's what the yoke does. Now, I have got a video with better mouse yoke. That is a really good little plugin if you're planning to do it this way. And that will just make the world a little bit simpler. But at the moment, I'm just going to go with what I have. And you're looking to be fairly gentle with your controls. So another control that we're going to need, I would suggest, now use R and F. F will tilt you down, R will rotate you up, so that's a rotation from your head view. So I want to go right down a little bit. Now I'm going to use E to turn right, so I can see down here, and I'm just going to zoom in with my mouse a little. In fact, I'm going to grab the right mouse button in here, so I want to be able to see. How about we use the arrow keys? So I'm using the arrow key to go right, and we can have like a jump seat view down here, especially of our flaps, our reverse thrust, and our air brakes and everything. So that's air brakes there. If you weren't sure, you can grab it and move it, guys, with your mouse. But if you're busy flying with your mouse, you don't really want to let go to do that. We've got flaps again. You can use the left mouse button, and you can move it back, want it to wherever you would like it. And then our throttles, of course, you can move those up and down. And the reverse thrust, that's a little bit harder to use, but we've got some buttons to do that with. So, and we've got trims and everything. So we'll talk about that as we get going. But I'm going to say that I might just go up a little bit and then rotate down, give me a better view. And the other thing, that might make it easy to grab the reverse thrust if I ever want to do that. No, if you get a handle, a little hand on it, then you can do it, guys. You can see, and that is, I push forward to get that to operate, and I'm going to leave that down there for now. Okay, So what I'm going to do there is save that control in 5, and I might just rotate all the way up because I know a lot of you like to use your overhead consoles, but that's a bit close, isn't it? So we're going to go arrow key down and R to rotate up, and that gives you a pretty good view of just about everything you might want to see there, I would say. And I'm going to go control and 2, so I can go 8 for the middle, 5 for the center console, and 2 to look at the upper console. So you've got lights, all sorts of stuff. I'm not really a jet guy, so if I sound like I'm a little bit lost, it's because I am. But the basics that I wanted to go through with you is just how easy it is, or relatively easy it is, to fly without a joystick if you don't have one. So number 8, back to the middle, turn our master caution off. Now basic controls, F1, F2 is power, and I think I've got my reverse thrust stuck on at the moment. So that's a shift and a back, and let's see if I can do that without it moving. No, I'm in trouble. I need to fix that up somehow. How am I going to do that? If I grab that, there we are. I think that might be alright now. Yeah, now we're right. So now I've got full throttles. Number 8, back to the middle. So F1 and F2 for your throttles. Your brakes are V and B. Now I'll put some of these on display for you. I'll do these later on and get them on screen to help you out a little. Number 1 and 2 does flaps, so let's have a look at that. So I'm going to hit number 2 a couple of times, give us about 10%, 10 degrees of flap. Go back there. Let's have a little look outside with number 4. Can't see it. Let's go shift and number 2, and then I use the arrow key just to rotate around. So there's a lot of keys there, guys, if you're new to X-Plane. We go 2 again. 2, you can see the flaps extending. Now this is a step at a time, so I think that's probably close enough. There we go, we've got the leading edge flaps down, and we're looking pretty good, and that F14 is going to be getting pretty annoyed by now. So let's go now. Rudders are a different thing, so you want to start nice and straight here. I haven't got an answer for you with the rudders at this point, so let's power up, and we'll take the brakes off with this B, which lets the brakes off. F2 up a bit more. Now this is your tiller for steering on the ground here, guys. You can grab this one and move it around. I'm going to go full power. Good thing about jets is there's no real torque to them, and they don't go wandering off to the side. And we might end up in the dirt here. I'll need to work out how to do rudders. There we go, we're away. Up, climbing out. Now we need to put our gear away, which is G. Go G. I push forward on the stick on the mouse a little bit. We don't want to stall, do we? All the way forward. There we are. Just be gentle. Now these are big machines, so big inputs until you get things all sorted out. Now I'm going to F1 to bring the power back a little bit. We don't need full power to keep going. And we're doing pretty well. Let's do a little left turn. See what? Now I've got fairly high settings at the moment. Now these are the settings I use for VR. So getting 47 or so FPS as we go around. Now while you're holding the joystick, we're holding your left button down. You can control the aircraft even if you're changing views, guys. So let's not crash into Sydney Harbour. Take it around and we'll just climb a little bit. Just be gentle. Don't upset everybody with their coffees. Looking left out. Gives you the end view from the end of the runway. That's pretty magnificent and noisy as we go around. And we'll put our flaps and everything up. I'm going to hit 1 several times. Let's go down. We'll do a little trip over towards the city, eh? Oh, Careful, careful. Just be nice, just be gentle. Now, you could, once you get it stable and trimmed, now let's have a quick talk about trimming. You can trim the ailerons if you keep getting roll for some reason. It's probably because you got too much fuel in one side. Just back off the power a little there. So trimming the two square boxes, if you, what do you call those, bracket keys, the square ones. If you use the bracket that goes to the left, you'll trim down. If you use a bracket to the right, it will trim up. Certainly that's going to make your life a little bit easier. Flying out here over the city, Sydney Harbour Bridge over there. The Opera House is over there as well. Let's take a little fly past down through the city, eh? We'll lose a little altitude, come back a little on the power. We'll go back to the front view. It's a bit funny flying when you're not sitting directly behind it, so we don't want to be too tight on the turn. Nail that little white button in the middle of the artificial horizon onto the horizon there. Now you can squat down if you want to. That's not being very helpful. If you're flying with a joystick, you could do it and then adjust with the rotation, but that's a little complicated, and we don't want to be too complicated, do we? When we're doing this. So here we go. There's the Sydney City CBD, around past the Opera House and the bridge. Yep. Okay. Let's go back to front view. Yep. So let's do that. Now how are we going for speed? Now if you want to slide in, you can use the full stop if you're comfortable, and you can use the comma to slide out. So move your view around to suit yourself and get something that you're comfortable with. Now I want to try back and go back and landing. Now you can run bets now in the comments below if I'm going to make it in one place, one piece, but we'll see how we go. So now I'm pretty sure it's back behind me, so we're going to do a right turn. Now the airport is south of the city, and we're heading pretty much around to north. Coming around to north now. We won't get too much of a bank on, otherwise it'll whinge at me again. Over to the right. Isn't that cockpit amazing? Really, really nice. Now, I think I need to be going out towards the sea would be better. I'm a little bit lost. I don't know Sydney so well. I live in Adelaide and haven't been to Sydney in quite a few years. So the coast is 270, so we'll head over to the coast, follow that down, and then I'm sure we'll run into an airport somewhere we can throw it down on. Now we do have Bankstown Airport out here. There's also Richmond Air Force Base. So if you wanted to find out where anything is, I think you'd want to be, you can hit P to put it in pause if you would like, and then you can hit the M for map to find that. So we're heading about, you want to be somewhat south. There's that looks like an area of water over there, because we know it's on the bay, though there could be a dam. I'm having a guess it's further over to the left. So let's have a look. I'll hit map, and I'll just do it quickly, and you can see where we are. I'm going to put myself back in front view because I'm going to lose it otherwise. And you can see that we're heading down now. It's off our left wing, it would seem. So I'll just let that go for a moment. Zoom in a little. You can do that. Well, if you're not doing too much, you can see the F-14's flown away. So I know it's over to the left. Let's grab here. Now I'm holding down my left mouse button to hold that control. So if you're flying gently, and I think that's the bay over there, and I can think the runway is about here. You can see that on the screen. Holding down the button, I'm going to take it down to that dark patch, which is south, and come in across the bay and do my best at trying to land this this beast. I think I'm going a little bit fast, a little bit less on the power, about 260 knots. So ATC would be yelling at me at this point because you're only allowed 250 knots below 10,000 feet. So we're about 7,000 feet or so. So let's do a little right turn. You got to remember, these take a while to turn around, guys. Looks pretty magnificent, doesn't it? And while you're outside, you can still control, just little controls, not too much. And if you're starting to lose it, go back to, in my case, number 8. So now I think we should start to slow ourselves down a little more. So F1 to bring the power back, and we'll just keep an eye on the speed. I'm going to move in a little closer so I can see that well enough. I'm just going to look left, and I'm pretty sure it's oh, there it is, over there, straight out through the window. You can see it here. There's the runway. We're running 90 degrees, so we're in a good place to get ourselves set up. As we're coming back down, I think we need to put some flaps down, don't we? So let's get some flaps out. So flaps are number 2. I'm going to hit that a few times. You'll get a little bit extra lift, and the nose will want to fly up a little, and your speed will drop some more because you're getting extra drag. F1, bring back my throttles a little bit more. Now you've got to be a bit ahead of a big aeroplane like this, otherwise you'll end up on the deck. Now if I crash, that'll be a crash. We'll see how it is, because I'm not professing to be an expert at this. It is a lot easier. You'll see my videos that I've done on on Cessnas 172s. They're hard enough, so I'm not expecting that I'm going to get this on the ground in one piece. So you want to be ahead of it though, and be ready. So again, aileron trims 8, 9 and 0. 8's left, 9 is neutral or to center, and 0 will take you right. Trim up and down is the square brackets. The one that faces left or closed on the left, that is down, and the right is up. Let's have a look out the window. You can see our runway just over here. It extends out into the water. So we're all doing pretty well there. Let's not let it roll. Now there's a lot of airline guys out there. So if you're flying on your laptops and things, now I believe this works just as well with your mouse pad as well. If you don't have a mouse, I believe you can do it with your mouse pad as well. But you're going to have to hold down a button with one hand probably, and use your finger to move it around on the pad. I think that's going to be pretty hard work, but don't say it's not possible. I haven't had a go at that one. So what are we doing on the flaps? How much have we got? We could probably do it a fair bit more, I think, at this point. Let's go back to the front view. Let's have some more flap too, a few more times. Now I'm not going to do my gear until I'm sort of pointing back somewhat in line, because I'll probably need to adjust the power as to get that additional drag. And what are we, 160, so I better have some more power. That drag's going to bring me down to stall pretty soon, and I'm still got a bit of a climb happening. So now get used to reference points. You can see the point of the center here of the control stick, and where that is, and you can reference that to what's going to be neutral at different speeds, because it's going to change. I think I need another one click of F2 and power, and we're going to start a left roll. So just pushing to the left and then neutralizing it, because you'll only keep going otherwise. A little bit of back pressure, and if you watch the vertical speed indicator, which is that one that's dancing up and down on the right of the main display, just here, you can see I'm just climbing a little. Just try and keep that steady as we're going around. It's all about being steady and smooth when you're flying these things. Let's have a look left. 90 degrees left. Okay, having trouble identifying it. Looks like it's over there though. We have come a fair way, so we'll go around this cloud and we'll descend a little. We're at 145 knots. And we're fairly neutral. I do want to descend. We're at 6,000, so a gentle descent of about 500 feet a minute to 1,000 feet is probably not too bad. Go through these clouds as we come past there. I think we need to go left, and then we'll neutralize the stick as we come around, and we're going to need to get down below the clouds. 150 knots is probably not a bad place to be. Probably need a couple more knots, so I'm going to go one more notch on the F2 before I put gear out, because gear, which I'm going to do now, G for gear, is going to give me a little bit more. So just watch your speed. Now, because I'm descending a little bit too fast, just be careful as you go through the clouds. That's always a challenge. That looks like a runway over there. I'm thinking just here, that looks like a runway. And how are we going for speed? 170. I'm going to go F1, bring it speed back down a little. It's quite sensitive on the speed side. And let's watch our artificial horizon. We're going to come out of that cloud there. Just look at that 45 degree, and yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job actually. I think we just need to keep going gentle left and come under the clouds so that we can see. The thing will be to be careful not to, because you can't feel your descent on it, so you don't want to let yourself fly into the ground. We're at 4,000, which I think is not a bad place. We still need to get under the cloud a little bit more, and we still need to go left a bit more. We're not quite lined up. We're probably still a little close, because airliners normally have everything configured at about 10 nautical miles is my understanding. So gears down, I'm going to go full flaps. I'm going to keep punching the number 2, and I'm going to bring myself around because I want that left runway. Just being careful on the descent rate. Coming around, I'm just about on centre line. Now getting ready, what do we need for brakes? Speed brakes is 3 and 4, so number 4 is out, number 3 is in, and max effort brakes is V. Now I'm not sure whether I have to hold the V down or if I hit it once. We'll see. If I don't stop at the other end, we'll know I was wrong. I'm sure B works as well as a brake. How are we going for speed? 170. F1 to slow me down. I'll do that twice. Now just a little cloud between here and there. I've got gear down. I've got flaps all the way down. Just very gentle. A little bit left, I think, of centre there. Good thing I was going for the right one. I'm not comfortable with that one, but we're pretty good. We're on the outer marker. Careful, 160 knots. We're slowing down pretty quickly, so be a little careful. Probably want 140 knots. I'm going to go F1 again, just bring it back. So again, F1, F2 is your speed. I'm just going to use my arrow key to drop myself a little lower so I can see underneath that handhold. And we're at 1,200 feet. We can see that we're a little bit high, so I'm going to F1 that back a couple. Okay, that's fine.
Too high.
There we go. Push down and power down, power down. We're still on the white, so you want red and white, don't we, guys? So I'm going to dive in here a bit.
Approach.
And then pull it back, pull it back, pull it back.
Approaching 3, 4, left.
Sync rate.
I'm going to power it back, power it back.
50, 40, 30,
Pull the nose up.
20, 10. Looks like we're slowing down, guys. I'm
Might have an issue here with the rudders.
Caution on taxiway. On taxiway.
Or I could say we were just going out. There we go. Hey! Well, I'm impressed. I hope you're impressed. A round of applause. Plenty of high fives in the comments. So there we are, guys. We've taken off. We have flown around. We have even managed to come in and land this magnificent Qantas 737-800, and all we've used is key commands and our mouse to do so, guys. So let's clean it up a bit. So we need, remember, F1 and 2 is your speed, so I'm going to hit number 1 several times and bring up all my flight controls, flaps and everything. As we come around, it's all coming back in, cleaning up. Does take a bit of time. Keep punching if you haven't got it all the way there yet. Beautiful over the bay. Botany Bay as we come around. So magnificent, guys. Really happy with that. Now, well, I think we should have a go and see if we can't taxi a little bit. So let's get this out of the way now. I'll just see if the tiller's working. Can I grab hold of that? Okay, that appears to be an issue. Well, for the moment, I'm going to leave the taxiing side because I haven't got an answer for you. But we have got back, and we are ready to get back and go for another flight. So reset, go again, and I'll try and find out how to do the taxi, and I'll just add that onto the end maybe here, and I'll show you how to do that because I'm sure that ain't going to be too hard. Well, until next time, guys, thanks very much for coming to Let's Fly VFR, and feel free to visit letsflyvfr.com. Love to see you over there. Lots on there, lots of new stuff for Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane and DCS. All the stuff there. A lot of toys if you need a new computer, new pieces for your computer. Help me out. Come and purchase through Amazon on X-Plane, on Let's Fly VFR, and you can support me, and it doesn't cost you guys anything to do that. So until next time, catch you back here in X-Plane 11. See you then. Bye bye.